Hey guys, Brent's Liz here, and I'm a little tired. I don't know why, I'm just really tired. But anyway, um, this is the part 2 to what if you could only set 2 cards per turn. Now, I got a lot of responses from you guys. One of the best responses that I got was from the comment from Aaron1234579, and basically he says, um, if you play Dust Tornado instead of Mysticals in your decks, that you won't have a problem with that rule, which is a very valid point. And if you were paying attention, I said that you can still play effects that let you set additional cards per turn and on your opponent's turn, etc. You just can't physically set 2 cards per turn, or more than 2 cards. Sorry. Now let me make that clear. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's just say you have, whatever, 3 monsters and 3 spells, whatever. So that's what you got. You have 3 monsters and 3 spells. Summon 1 monster, and then you go to set 3 cards. You can't do that. You can only set 2 and play 1, or set 2, hold on to the other one per turn. So every turn, And I've been talking to Galactic God. I've been talking to other players, and nobody really sees an issue with it. A lot of people mention, oh, that'll kill this deck, that'll kill that deck, and the decks that people say will become more broken are already broken. They're already as broken as they're probably going to get, except for Spellbook. Spellbook is going to get a little more broken because of their additional support. But the decks that people are talking about are like, oh, it's going to be more broken, more powerful. It's not necessarily true. Spellbooks doesn't really set a whole lot in that deck. Spell of Traps. The card that they set the most is Fate, and they'll usually set 1 or 2, set it, and then activate it during your turn, set another one during their turn, and they just keep recycling it. So that deck already doesn't set. Somebody else mentioned Suppressor Dragons. Suppressor Dragons don't really need to set. It's preference, but it doesn't really need to set because it's doing a lot of dumping and special summoning. The decks that I play, Monster Mash, and my rank 4 Chaos deck, don't really set a lot of back row. I have Dress, Chalice, Mystical, Return from a different dimension, and I don't set them all at the same time. I set maybe 1 or 2, pass turn. Once in a while I'll heavy set, bluff heavy, pro set heavy, but I don't really set a lot of cards per turn. So there's kind of this trend going on with decks. The decks don't really set a lot unless there's some form of stun or some form of non-interactive deck. Now, unfortunately, this rule would kill a lot of stun decks per se. It would just slow them down more than they need to be. But non-interactive decks are decks where you play your regular deck, and your opponent who's playing a non-interactive deck basically is on autopilot. And the way that their deck works is they don't have to interact with you at all. Even if you stop one part of their combo, doesn't matter, because their combo is so broken and non-interactive that you being there isn't even an issue. It's like they're just playing their cards just to play them. And that's what a non-interactive deck is. I played a burn deck the other day. That guy didn't even need me to be there. He played Hidden Barrels, and he played, or whatever it's called, the one that does 200 damage for every card you control, including your hand. And he played Ojama Trio. Then he played, he played Ojama Trio first, sorry. And then he played Just Desserts, and then Hidden Barrels or whatever. And then Accumulated Fortune. We draw some more cards. Sets all the cards again. Does basically the same thing. Now I have monsters on my field because of him. Now I control monsters because of him. And if I didn't, let's say I was playing some form of Yugioh versus his deck, I would control monsters now when I normally wouldn't. Speaking of Yugioh, it's the same thing. Not the version where you give your opponent a lot of life and then you do stuff. because you can still kind of play against that. But basically, like the chain burn version, or well, it's not really chain burn, but you just activate, 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 chain, drop, activate, activate. You know, you get one library out there. If your opponent can't, it doesn't have a one Veiler to stop it or whatever, you're done. So I'm not like, oh, they should just ban those particular decks, but I mean, like, those decks don't really. It's not like player versus player. It's Exodia chain deck versus it doesn't matter who because you can't stop it anyway. Chain burn versus it doesn't matter who because you can't stop. You can side for those decks. You can play side deck hate, but you know, like that's still 2 or 3 cards that you have to draw into in order to beat those decks first turn. Basically, like my deck has the capacity of beating spellbooks. I don't play any kind of counters, any kind of traps. I don't play traps at all. I just play quick play spells, normal spells, and that's it. And I have the capacity to beating spellbooks if I get, you know, my Chaos Monsters to my hand right away, or if I get Shockmaster on the field really quickly. Spellbooks has an issue dealing with Shockmaster super early on. Well, that's not completely true. I play Extra Sword, so my Shockmaster is bigger than normal, but you get the point. So yeah, that's basically it. You know, a lot of decks don't really set more than 2 cards per turn, or set more than 2 back row per turn. The ones that do are either non-interactive decks that shouldn't exist anyway, that are unhealthy for the game, or are a stun build of some sort, where T-King 4 back row, T-King 5 back row. That's kind of non-interactive too. I mean, it's not really non-interactive, but that's kind of a, like, it's just, I don't know. It seems really unfair in itself. Let me put this card so you can't search anything. If you try to special summon, I'll stop it. You play a spell, I'll stop it. You can't play a trap right now, so I'm not worried. You know, you set that back row, let me put it back in your hand. You know, it doesn't seem really that fair. Or it's just really the, you know, the godliest tactic on earth. I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you guys think in the comment section? You know, there's going to be a part 3 to this video to show you this type of play style in action. I'm going to use, you know, okay, there you go. You can suggest decks to me in the comment section that have not a substantial amount of back row, but that actually play back row. And myself and Galactic God will actually play test using this style of play. The only 2 set 2 back row per turn via mechanic, not via effect. So we can use, like, Fire Fist still would work because they're effects. They let you place more back row because of effects, not because of the play mechanic that you can only set 2 per turn. So, you know, that deck's still good. But anyway, let me hear what you guys have to say. You know, what decks do you think would die or be hindered by this rule? Beyond the 2 non-interactive decks or whatever the stun decks, because obviously they're going to get hurt by it. All that stuff. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Just let me know what decks you think would get really hurt by this and what decks you want to see me and Galactic God play test. We're probably only going to use 2 decks. I don't know, it's really up to him. He has the card pool, so I have some cards, but, you know. Anyway, so that's the video. Just let me know what you guys think. Hit the like and subscribe button to see when I put in new videos, and thanks for watching.